And how you doing? Thank you so much for posting your work. So I'm wondering if you have taken a look at any of these previous videos in the critique board. And the reason I ask this is because I'm going to refer to a couple of these, and I'm probably going to end up repeating myself. So please forgive me if I do, if you have watched these. But a lot of the things I say in this initial critique are really pertinent to the success of the project. So I'm really trying to cover this as well as I can with the different ideas that we have here. So I think you've got some great ideas. This is a great exercise in ideation, isn't it? It's a wonderful exercise in creativity, especially this beginning stage where you're tasked with finding 8 different uses for the same object, or one different use for 8 different objects. So you've chosen the matchstick, and I'm glad you clarified that as opposed to a matchbook. Because a matchstick you can just kind of light. I mean, I've seen people light a matchstick like that with their fingernail like that. It's kind of cool, actually. But you can light them on anything, right? So thanks for the clarification there. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at your ideas. Now, before we look at these ideas, I want to preface this by saying the project itself, and if you take a look at the examples over here, this is in week 4, project 2, common everyday hand tool begin stage. This is a fantastic example. This is a great example. This is a great example. This one's a little difficult to follow. If you download it and rotate it, you can see a little bit better what's going on. But they're using a hole punch in a piece of plastic to create like a tie for the headphones. This one's a little bit more towards instructional design. These are more, kind of illustrative narrative design using assorted illustrative techniques. So the thing that I'm seeing here is that in a lot of these ideas, the basic kind of foundational cornerstone of development here is the fact that the idea I mean, you can be humorous here. You can provide a great deal of levity in this assignment, as we can see here, right? But at the end of the day, the idea has to at least remotely somewhat be feasible, okay? And this is, I mean, this is, nobody's going to shave with a machete. I think we get that. But there is a distinct possibility that this is something that could possibly work. I'm not saying it's going to, but okay, so we're using a machete to shave, right? Or this one using a fire poker to knock a hornet's nest down, right? It works perfectly. Or using an iron to straighten the hair. So these are all things that theoretically could possibly work, not completely out of the possibility, right? The reason I bring that up is because I want to take a look at a couple of yours, and I just want you to think about how the user, how the user will accept this, all right? So you've got a match to charge an iPhone. Okay, so the user, first of all, the first reaction is going to be okay, if I just bought let's say I just bought myself a brand new iPhone, right? An iPhone 10, it's what, $900? Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is look at it and go, whoa, wow, I don't want to match near my phone. But taking that a step further, the average viewer is going to take a look at this, and the first thing they're going to say is, well, Dad, how are you going to charge a phone with a match? That's just not going to work. Did you see what I'm saying? And I think the same thing can be held true for the light bulb. How do you turn on a light with a match? It's kind of out of the realm of possibilities. Listen, I'm not trying to discourage you at all. I'm really trying to get you to really think about the approach of the linear narrative here. And my goal here is for you to get a portfolio-worthy piece here. So that's my end goal, and that's what I'm working for. And that's why I really want you to think about the whole picture, the big picture. How is the viewer, or more importantly, how is your potential hiring professional or portfolio reviewer going to respond? Did you see what I'm saying? I hope so, but let me clarify if I'm not making sense. Just let me know. Okay, so using a match to kill a spider, that would certainly work. Quick story, one of my neighbors many years ago did something really stupid, and he had a spider web in his basement and a spider, and he took like a blow. Oh no, you know what it was? It was an aerosol can. He had an aerosol can and a match, and he held the match. You ever go like that and spray, it goes, it shoots that flame? Well, he did that, and he started his house on fire. Isn't that horrible? That's what I saw when I saw this. I was like, oh, that reminds me of my old neighbor, right? So, anyways, would this work? Absolutely, this would certainly work. My only problem with this is that it's kind of inhumane. And that's from the guy who takes the spider outside. My wife laughs at me. When I see bugs inside, I put them in a napkin, I take them outside, and let them go. but so think about that. Just think about how this might be received as inhumane. Okay, to cook food, sure, that would work. Okay, so I can see this. I can see the setup, and I'll talk about the setup. But I can see the setup working where maybe the stove is broken, or there's no way to heat up the soup. So you grab your matches and you start holding it underneath the metal spoon or the metal bowl, right? It'll work. Match to cut hair in a really primitive way. Sure, that'll work. So I can see her, fumbling around, getting ready for a date, looking, and she's got some hairs that she needs to cut. Can't find the scissors. Aha. Grabs the matches and does. So yeah, that'll work. This one, not so much, right? For the reasons I said before. Match to boil water in a cup, sure, definitely. Again, broken stove, right? Match to cut your nails. That might work. That might work, although that would be kind of painful. Then you have this is a great one. Match to color a picture, but this is the part that's going to be difficult to set that up, and I'll get to that in a second. And then match to burn, turn on a light. That one, not so much, right, for the reasons I had just described. Now, keep in mind, I just want to repeat, I'm not trying to be discouraging. I'm trying to be as realistic and helpful as possible, Megan. So let's go ahead and take a look, and let me just describe this as, and again, this is the part where I say I apologize if you've heard this before by looking at other people's video critiques, but it's all in the setup, Megan. It's all in the setup. It's linear narrative, right? It's really important in linear narrative to include a couple of important factors. Okay, so you've got the setup, character introduction. Okay, the setting. Okay, then you introduce the problem. You introduce possible solutions. Then the kind of the apex of the story where this the aha moment where I got an idea, right? Then it's implementation. Then it's use. And then it's the happy ending, right? So this example has all of the elements of good linear narrative. And that's what I want you to think of when you're making your choice of which direction to follow. How do you set it up? How do you introduce the characters and define the problem? And that's what I was saying before about maybe saying, okay, so the person walks in their house after a long day, the clock says 6 o'clock, looking for something to eat, finds the soup can. The stove is broken. I don't know how you would illustrate that. I would say maybe smoke, not smoke out of the stove, because that, I don't know, maybe it's rickety or it's kind of vibrating or something. But anyways, so the stove's broken. So, you're thinking, looking around, then the aha moment, grab the matches, start heating the soup. Then you can show steam coming off the soup, and then the happy ending where the person is sitting at the table with enjoying their hot meal, right? Okay, so again, that is to me going to be the success of the project is how you set it up and the delivery of the linear narrative. So I'm going to go ahead and recommend 10 to 12 frames. I think that's really a minimum. That's a minimum. Any less and the story could be incomplete. Any more, and I think you might risk losing the viewer. So I think 10 to 12 is a perfect. I think 12 is perfect. So think about that. Okay, now. Moving into Sunday's submission of this work. So you can change some ideas if you want. You can change some sketches if you want. But the idea here is to select your direction and move forward with it. Okay, so you, based on this critique and your classmates' critique and a compilation of your ideas in conjunction with the critiques, just really start thinking about it and decide which direction you're going to go. Okay, so there's no need to resketch it unless you want to resketch some other ideas, and then that's fine. But you're not required to at this point, since this is just the ideation stage. You've showed your ideas, pick one, let's move forward, right? Unless you want to resubmit, that's fantastic. I'll be glad to comment on that. All right, so good job, Megan. Okay, any questions at all, please let me know. I'll be glad to make any clarifications necessary. Thank you so much.